Hello friends, in today's class we'll be looking into the issues associated with photojournalism. You are already aware of this concept of photojournalism as a beneficiary, so you have been coming across a number of photographs in our day-to-day newspapers, and fairly we have some idea about what photojournalism is. But when it comes to as an academic discipline, so now let us look into what exactly this photojournalism means. Now let us try to understand this particular sentence, which becomes very important for all of us to understand. So basically we would like to enjoy the photographs which narrate a huge amount of story. We may not be that comfortable in reading 1000 words, but we are definitely in a position to read the photograph with which is worth of 1000 words. How it is possible? Let us look into these subsequent discussions. When the newspaper publishes the news like this, so this is again a published newspaper, an age-old newspaper, you see the impact that it is going to create on the viewers. But the same news, when it is published in this particular form, its impact is going to be something different on the viewers. So this is what is the impact of photography. This is what is the specialization that what we are discussing today about the photojournalism. When we look into the definition of this photojournalism, it is again a type of journalism in which written copy is subordinate to the pictorial, usually photographic presentation of news stories, or in which high proportion of pictorial presentation is used, known as photojournalism. It means photography is going to dominate the entire news story or a feature story. So because instead of writing 1000 words, we are showing some photographs which are self-explanatory, self-narrative. So this is what is the importance. So when we look into its characteristics, so the first and foremost characteristic is time. As we have already discussed time as an element of a news, so here we are discussing time as a characteristic of the photography. Because once we miss the time, so we are going to miss a number of things. So at that point of time, we need to catch hold of that particular photograph, otherwise it is going to change its position. So then its importance is lost. Now let us look into these two photographs. One is related to this, basically dealing with the agricultural issue. So how the insects are attacking a particular crop. So this shows, so if you may if there is a lapse of around 5 to 10 minutes or some time, so the insects are going to change their position. So now how beautifully they are covering the entire crop. It is, nobody can put the insects like this, but this is a natural way, so that has to be captured. So in this particular photograph, so a flood situation, which is again self-explanatory, how the people are striving their level best to save the lives, their own lives as well as the lives of their siblings. So it is very much visible there. It is very much. Under such circumstances, if the photographer reaches this particular place, maybe after lapse of few hours, so the water is going to recede and he may not get the figure what he is getting now. So that is what is the importance of time. That's what is importance of the time in case of photography. Then objectivity. So we want to highlight a particular issue, so wherein, so we are not telling anything, but we are trying to depict everything. So in this particular case, how the different insects are damaging the crop, so is basic objective. We want to show that. It is not that we are glorifying the insects, but we are trying to highlight the key role that is played by the insects, especially in damaging the crops. Maybe it is leaf, maybe it is the flower, or maybe it is different plant parts. So how they are damaging. So what is the exact existing situation? Maybe it is depicting the poverty, or it is explaining the situation, that is, maybe it is political, the social, the economic situation. All these things are now objective. That depends on the article that what we are writing. Maybe it is a news story or a feature story. So it is fitting to that particular objective. Then narrative. So in this particular photograph, we need not say many things. So it is the protected cultivation, and how the crop is being grown, and what kind of spraying that is going on. So all these things are almost self-explanatory. We can go on imagining and understanding the facts and figures. So just by looking at this figure, and this figure is also telling you the same thing. A story of an individual who is caught in a very difficult situation, asking for help, and maybe so the situation is so scary, or so this is what the narration of the situation that the photograph is providing us. When we look into the nature of job of this photographer, still it is more risky there, and it is opportunity oriented, because every time you may not get the opportunity of getting catching the images. So it depends on the situation. You don't know when the flood is going to come. You don't know when the insects are going to attack the crop. You don't know when the accident is going to happen. So all the time you need to be on the toes. All the time you need to be on the toes. So it is very risky in nature also. Photojournalist is a servant, and he is expected to be on the job around the clock. Round the clock. So there is no scope for the rest or taking leisure, or because if the incidents happen, so he has to be there. Otherwise, he is going to lose the event. He is going to lose the event. The photojournalist can be of two kinds. So one type of photographers that we come across even in within Banaras University campus, you come across a huge number of photographers from different news channels as well as the newspapers. So they are the employees of that particular organization, and they are paid for that, and they are doing their job. And another category of the photographers that we find is the freelance photographers. So they go for the quality photographs. There is no binding on them to send the photograph by today evening or immediately after the event or whatever it is, and they earn handsome amount out of that also, that you are already aware. So there are many people in the Three Idiots movie also. It was shown that the boy who was having the photography skills, so how he could establish himself as the professional photographer, as a freelance photographer. What is the power of photojournalism? If you look at the written word has a power. With the skill, the reporter can expose the dark deeds of the world in the to the light. So the incident what we are explaining, for example, even if you take the today's current situation of pandemic, what is the plight of the hospitals and how the people are being cheated, maybe in the name of medicine, or in the name of beds, or in the name of ambulance and all those things. If we narrate these stories, so people may or may not believe, but if you show the visuals, if you show the audio, video, so then it becomes more effective. It becomes that gives you more integrity. So this is what we were discussing in another class also. So that is what is the power of journalism. Photojournalism destroys almost all barriers through the image. So otherwise we may say that, so this report is biased, but when we show the visuals, when we show the video clips, so that becomes more visible, more self-explanatory. People can have their own conclusions, whether it is in the positive side or in the negative side. So they have the freedom to have their own conclusion, but the responsibility of the journalist is to provide the facts and figures as they are, as they exist. It is not that कि journalist himself is adding his opinion on that, but he has to add, he has to come out with the corrective figures. So especially in the last couple of years, we have observed the problem of swarming. Especially it started from Rajasthan. It entered into Rajasthan from Pakistan. So, and it reached up to Uttar Pradesh, and how devastating it was, what kind of havoc that these swarms were created. So, because during our student life also we heard about this swarm, but in the southernmost part we never came across that kind of situations. But this time I could have an opportunity to have its videos as well as the visuals, which gave me the conceptual clarity. Earlier, we were aware of that. The things are there, the issues are there, the problem is there. But this time we could realize that, yes, this kind of issues are there. So even up to Jhansi, it reached in some parts of Mirzapur also there were some reports. So this kind of things that what we can imagine, means what we can have is the power of photojournalism. So based on different professions, so there are different types of photojournalism that we come across. It may be related to sports or war or glamour or sport news photojournalism, travel photojournalism, wildlife photojournalism. This is only a small indicative list. So people are coming out with their own specializations, like medical photojournalism. There is another thing. So like that, you can come across with a huge number of specializations. The subject which is photographed is placed in the picture frame in such a way, in a certain intelligent manner, that it leaves impact on the viewer. So how to take the photograph is also a skill. It's also a skill as well as it is an art also. The placement of the subject or the subjects within the picture frame is called composition. So you can easily make it. Just I'm going to explain you about a rule of a third. So how you can bring in that particular efficiency in your photograph or focus in your photograph, so that you can compose a beautiful photograph on your own. So that is what is the skill. So what we are teaching, what we are discussing here is it is only for your understanding, but you can develop these skills only when you become a practitioner. For example, now you just imagine a situation. So you want to show the poverty. You want to depict the poverty that is existing in the society. So you can take a picture of a real poor man who is wandering on the road, and you can show it. So this is one way of depicting. But on the other way, so if you want to have that particular photograph, you need to have an angle, you need to have some patience. So the moment the same poor man, when he approaches a very luxurious car, and the man who is getting down from that particular car, and this man approaches maybe for begging or for any other purpose. So when you take the photograph, so it is giving you the comparing as well as contrasting situation. There is a rich and there is another man poor. So there is a man who is having all comforts, and there is another man who is not at all having any comforts. So this is only an indicative situation, just I would like to bring to your notice. So this is how you can show, you can compose your photographs also. Similarly, when it comes to the issues related to agriculture, if you want to show the healthy crop, if you want to show the infested crop, have a comparison. So at in one plant, so there is huge amount of infestation, but there is another row which is having less infection or no infection. So then, so in that is how you need to compare as well as contrast. So this is only again an indicative example that I am trying to provide you. You can have your own angle and you can choose the situation, but that the creativity that is lying within you is the sky is the limit for that. This is what I was focusing on, the rule of thirds. This is very interesting thing that we need to understand. So it's a very simple principle on which the photographs are to be taken. The rule of thirds states that the elements in a frame must be so placed that So they roughly fall on the intersection of the lines that divide the frame in 3 rows and 3 columns. So this is no hard and fast rule, but it helps in leaving the positive impact on the viewer. So what is that 3 rows and 3 columns? How you can depict that? So I am making an effort to put before you. So if this is your frame, so this is larger frame that you have, maybe you are photographing with your mobile or your SLR camera or your any of the normal digital cameras. So just you can have this particular image in your lens, so there are 3 rows, and there are 3 rows, 1 row, first row, second row, third row, and 3 columns, 1, 2, 3. So whatever the things that you want to focus, I was talking about the poor man, I was talking about the insects, or I was talking about the disease specimen, or any object that you want to focus. So that is what is your situation. So that is what you will be focusing in this particular point of view. So the rest of the things are only supporting your photograph. But this particular focus, so what you are having, so that emerges as the leader as far as this photograph is considered. Maybe it is poverty, maybe it is the luxury, or maybe it is, this is how even, so you must have seen in movies also. So this is, you can say that the face or the body of the hero and the supporting actors who are 8 in number or 800 in number. So the entire focus is on the hero, so or the focus person who they want to focus, and rest of them are only in a supporting role. So this is what the rule of thirds is explaining you. So we need to practice this thing in our photography, so that you can generate the impact on the viewers. With the help of such beautiful photographs, you can develop a photo feature also. So that depends, because if you want to narrate the story, if you want to write the story, pages together, maybe people are having less time and people may or may not go through all the stories. But when you make an effort in the form of the visuals, definitely people will be responding to that. So this is how you can develop a photo feature or a photo essay. So as the name suggests, it is the story of or an essay on the subject told using the series of photographs, It can be done on anything that is photographed, a place or a person, or a cropping season, entire season, on animal sciences, or specific diseases, insects, anything that you can think of. You can develop a series of photographs. You can start with the etiology of an insect or the life cycle of maybe a pathogen. So you need to take a series of photographs. You need to wait for that particular. So in case of feature, we said that there is no limitation for time as well as space. So accordingly, you need to wait for sufficient amount of time, then you can go for photography, then you develop your own photo essay or the photo feature. So similarly, we have a photo editor who is overall in charge of the photographic photo section of a newspaper or a magazine. He chooses the photographer and he discusses the topic. So then they come out with a photo feature or a photo essay or the photographs to be printed on a daily newspaper. He may also choose a reporter who will write the story around the photo essay. The person who was involved in that particular activity, he can be the best person, or any other experienced person who has knowledge of developing the photo features, so he can also be used in a news organization. It is also the job of the photo editor to decide and select on the best pictures that convey the whole story. You might have observed when a news reporters click a photograph, the photographers, when they click the photograph, they don't click one. They go for a series of photographs. So you don't know what kind of scene that you are going to get, because the event is happening for a few moments, for small amount of time. So how you are going to catch that? So that is where the photographer is all the time focusing upon. So he tried to catch that particular situation wherein he can make a sensation, he can make the news, or he can make the difference from others. So this is what is the basic objective. Then coming to the photo feature, that will be based on, maybe it is based on the family attempt to list the 5 photographs. Means there is, sky is the limit. So this is an example that what we are trying to provide here. So maybe the father leaving for the work and mother preparing food in the kitchen, daughter coming home after the school, grandparents watching the television. So this can make a photo feature in a family setup. So this is how you can think of. This is what I said in the previous slide also. So you can develop a photo feature of depicting the life cycle of an insect, the etiology of an fungus, or any practice, maybe it is irrigation, maybe it is application of plant protection chemicals, or application of top dressing of fertilizers, any sort of things that you can develop a series of photographs that is depending on the situation. The responsibility of the photojournalist include at times at all times he have many thousands of people seeing through his means whatever the photos what we are going to publish, so we need to keep it in mind that it is not one. There are many people, thousands and crores, lakhs of people are going to view the photograph, and it should be more sensitive in that direction. So the ethical issues we have already discussed in one of our previous class, but when it comes to the photography, we need to be extra sensitive because this is a visual. This can create larger impact on the society with smaller photograph also. So that is why we need to be very cautious. What to shoot and how to frame and how to edit are the constant considerations in photojournalism. So what to shoot and what not to shoot, what to show and what not to show. So that is where is your ethical and legal considerations are there. So when it comes to the legal considerations, so everything cannot be said by the law, but we as a responsible journalist, as a responsible citizen, I also have some responsibilities to follow. Let us follow them. The emergence of digital photography has offered the whole new realms of this opportunities for manipulation, reproduction and transmission of images. So there are so many negative parts of the digital photography also. I will not be discussing much about that because I think you are you know much more than me how this editing is being done and how some unwanted things have already happened in the society because of the provisions of this digital editing and all those things. So let us not enter into such issues. Being a student of agriculture, being a student of extension, we need to focus on the issues related to agriculture and allied sciences. It's inevitably complicated. Many of the ethical issues are involved. So now coming to significantly from nation to nation, major ethical issues are often inscribed with more or less success into the law. This is what I was telling you about. Everything cannot be controlled with the law. So one has his own responsibility and he has to follow the things. Then the impact of the new technologies on the photojournalism. Number one, it is saving a lot of time. So it brings in the clarity. So the quality of image also has a lot of impact on the quality of the photograph. So as the technology has changed, so the photography has reached the new heights, and accordingly so it has brought in the quality. And so the best quality photographs are more effective in understanding the issues, in development of the skills, as well as in making the things more clear. So what we were talking of truth and unbiased opinions, so these effective photographs are going to develop those particular things definitely. Then it has made the job of the reporter more simple, and it is very easily accessible, because so earlier when an event is used to happen in a particular place, movement of the photograph was very difficult. So we used to get only the news, the photographs that we used to get the next day, because so the transportation of the photograph, how to transfer this photo was major issue. But with the help of this technology, instantaneous transfer of the photographs, the videos, or you can have the live events also. So that is how it has made more visible. It has made the entire process more visible. So, but the issue of accessibility is already there. The issue of accessibility is already there. So how many people can access these things? So this is what we say, that radio has an penetration of around 99%, and similarly TV is also huge penetration now. Internet, more than 58% of the population is having connection to the internet as on date in Indian context. So this is what shows the accessibility. As we have more accessibility, so our efforts are becoming more visible. What makes a photographer different from a photojournalist? So this is what is a very important thing that we need to understand at this juncture is, so so there is a photographer and there is a photojournalist. What is the basic difference? So a photographer takes the picture of a noun. It may be a place. If you are taking the photograph of a building, maybe it is the entrance gate of Banaras Hindu University, any of the buildings of Banaras Hindu University, these are all the nouns, the places. Or if you are making a portrait, you can take my photograph with all dressings and all those things. So that is what is the noun that you are covering. But the photojournalist shoot the action, shoot the words. So it may be crying it, because when you are in action, having the photographs, you might have enjoyed the photograph of maybe players, maybe while they shoot the goals, or when they hit the sixers, or when they are running as a sprinter. All these things are action, because you cannot ask them to repeat the performance again and again. So, but in case of nouns you can. In case of nouns you can, but in case of verbs you cannot do that. So this is what is the basic difference that the photojournalist is facing. Then photojournalist should some nouns also, because that depends, because it is not that all the time you are in action. So there are situations wherein you are going for the photography of a noun, that particular, the same person, when he is in action, his photography is different. When he is not in action, his photography is different. So this is what is the basic difference that we need to understand. Then put together, we can say that reporters can handle everything by phone, especially in case of print medium. The news reporters can handle everything by phone, because they can get every possible details with the help of phone. But editors can stay in their office and never talk to a particular soul, but they can make a beautiful stories. Press operators in graphics and artists can go straight to their home even after their work, if they choose. However, the photojournalist must crawl through the entire situation. Then only he can get the best possible photograph. So this is what is the thing that what we need to understand. So the job of photojournalist is something different than the writer. So this is what just I wanted to share with you. Thank you.